Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Rolls. I'm your host Kevin. This is my co-host here, Kirk. He's co-hosting today. And I'm with our good friend here, Allan from Dubb Productions. Allan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, fantastic. I feel good that you guys brought me here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. So what we're going to be talking about a little bit today is dye sublimation. Mainly, you got your printer. Now, how do you make money with it? So we're just going to kind of go right into it here. Allan, how'd you get started with dye sublimation?
So, first of all, sublimation is a process that hands down can make a lot of money, and it's the process once you do it initially, it seems almost like magic. To be honest with you, that's how I felt when I first sublimated my first item, and I got into it. Kirk introduced me to it actually, and it was something that I always heard about online, but I wasn't quite sure about how it worked. It's like this mystical thing that people see online, but unless you do it, you're not sure how it works. It just seems like I said, it seems like magic. But yeah, the ink transfers. It transforms into a gas and goes onto the substrate. Even as I'm explaining it, it seems like magical, but it's like just a solid type of process, and the product that you get is just so professional and clean. Like there's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it's literally just like printed on there. Basically.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, and obviously one of the great things about sublimation and I love is obviously it's so like very permanent.
It's permanent.
It's very
Definitely.
Like, you can beat up on it and everything else. It's really good. You see on the garments, obviously, it's gonna stay. It's not gonna have any issues as far as it's a longevity on. It's really good. Obviously, some limitations, as we know, you have to use it on light colors or also on blends as far as shirts and all that stuff. But Allan, before we kind of jump into the pricing part of it, let's just talk about like what's kind of your favorite things you've dye subbed. Like what's the funnest thing or craziest thing you've done or tried or failed at, even that too.
Hands down is shirts. Shirts is I think everybody's favorite go-to because it's so easy, not only to make money, but it's so much fun just watching the art that you've created sublimate onto that garment. So that's the most that's one of the most fun things that I've done. But one of the most interesting things I've done, which you guys have on the website, are the small seashell earrings. They're it's like to get your image to be that small and to go on there and look so good. I just think it's interesting that like a lot of times people don't know the different things that you can sublimate onto, and it's the possibility. There's a lot of different things that you can sublimate onto, and yeah, the seashells. That's something interesting, yeah, that you can. I like.
Yeah. So tell me, is there something that you wish you could sublimate onto, but we can't right now?
What do I wish I can sublimate?
What's your sublimation wish
you
list?
You can sublimate onto hats. You can sublimate onto shirts. You can sublimate onto socks. I don't know, pants maybe. I don't know what. Okay, so as far as sublimation on shirts is concerned, I do wish that the fabric was a little bit thicker that we could sublimate onto, and I don't know, maybe if you can make a case for your laptop or something like that. I'm not sure. There's shoes,
Yeah, dye subbing shoes, that'd be an interesting one to go for.
Right.
So there you go. That's the wish list for Allan is shoes, possible case for a laptop, stuff like that. So, and obviously there's things changing constantly all the time, adding new products. So that's what's kind of fun about sublimation. And so obviously we talk about shirts, and let's just talk about, we gotta make money. Now we have the machine. Let's talk about making money. So Kevin, you want to hold that up? And just talk like, I buy a shirt, approximately, let's say $4. I have costs of around a penny a square inch for the ink, and then your paper sheets in around 30 to 50 cents depending on the size of the paper you got. Where do you start pricing it? Where do you sell that shirt at? How much do you sell?
So these are all things that you want to take into consideration. Obviously, you got a $4 shirt right here, right? So you pay 30 cents per sheet. So that puts you $4.30 already, and you take into consideration 1 cent per square inch. 1 cent per square inch. So obviously you want to measure your design out and see how much ink that you're using. And one thing that a lot of people don't focus on, which you need to focus on, is your time. Your time is invaluable, and I think you definitely have to consider how much time you're taking to make each garment. So just for me, I would price something like this at about, it depends on how many garments the person is getting, but I would price this, if they're buying individual pieces out, this is like easily a $20 shirt, in my opinion. So that's significant profit.
Or higher.
Or
I mean,
higher.
If I'm going in for one, you're probably gonna be like, this is $30.
Exactly.
I mean,
right.
if I come in for 12, you're gonna give me a little bit of break.
You got it. The more you get, the more of a break that you get. You know, because obviously you're gonna make more profit. But with sublimation, like hands down, like it's a great investment, and you're gonna make money. Period. You know.
So let's poke at the labor part of it, because everybody I think forgets that they have to pay themselves. How do you even kind of factor that in? Obviously, you're saying this is at least a $20 shirt, maybe more. But how do we like say, hey, I need to make sure I'm getting paid? Or if you're growing as a growing shop, and now you have, let's say, somebody coming in part time, you gotta make sure you pay for them.
Yeah.
How do you kind of factor that labor?
So there's many different costs in labor, many different things to consider. Like when you're first starting off, there are things that you're gonna have to bite the bullet on. Like when you're first starting off, you're gonna have to spend time learning how to do the specific process. So that's just gonna have to be time that you chalk up. That's part of your learning process, right? So that's free. But once you learn how to do it, you have to determine for yourself, how much is my time worth, right? And this is where I kind of like, I value my time so much. So when it comes to time, I charge like top dollar because my time is valuable. So I don't, it depends on the job, you know, and like I said, how many specific items the person was getting. Obviously, the more I would say a good rule of thumb is to have a set price that you're going to charge for labor, and don't deviate from that specific price. Everything else, as far as the quantity that they're getting, the more they're getting, then you can give them kind of like come down on that price. But your time, as far as your time is concerned, have a flat fee on your time and do not deviate from that time, because your time is one thing. Like regardless of how many they get, you're still going to have to spend that time doing it. So you can't discount your time. Your time is the most valuable asset. So that's the advice. Now what you charge specifically for that time is going to vary from person to person. Like I said, I charge as high as I can for my time because that's my most valuable asset. But you guys, that's something that it varies from person to person.
There you go. I mean, I agree with you. I was like, your time obviously is more valuable than anything else, and so really charging properly for that. And you know, end of the day, we want to make money.
Definitely.
Because we want to go out and do the things we want to do.
Exactly.
And love. It's not always about the money, but at the end of the day, yes, you need to make enough money so you can do the things you want to do in life. So it is okay to charge a fair price and get rewarded for that. So that's what I kind of like about that is it's, you know.
To add to that, something that you might want to consider once you get your workload and you figure out what your process is you might want to consider, once you start making money, hiring somebody so that you can get that invaluable time back, right? So you can call the shots and you can train somebody on how to do the process so that you get your time back. Because let's face it, after each person's time is gone, we're done. There's nothing else we can do. That's our most valuable asset. So that's why I value my time so much. So hiring employees is definitely one of the most efficient things that you can do to automate your business so that your business can run without you and you can still make money.
So that's, again, another great important charge rate for the time, so you can hire somebody, so you can grow, so you can take it from possibly where you're a crafter to a side hustle to, hey, I'm full stream, I have a shop and everything else.
Exactly.
It's the only way we're gonna get there. So,
only way.
You know, and pricing properly, and don't be afraid of it. People, you know, aren't gonna get every job, right? I mean, we're not gonna get every job.
You're not gonna get a job, but guess what? The people that wanna try to talk you down, those are not clients that you want, because they don't value your time, and they don't want to. Some people don't want to invest in themselves, and if somebody's not willing to invest in themselves, why should you invest in them? You know, so those are things that you want to consider.
Yeah. So let's talk about a couple of other things like that you can also sublimate to kind of like add on, as far as accessories to get more money, get more out of the customer.
So once you have a customer, and you have like a shirt, for example, like people like seeing their product, their logos and stuff on different types of things, like these little cups right here. You can put that on here. We have one that we did right here, for example.
Oh, sweet.
Right?
Oh, that's
So
nice, yeah.
sublimate onto that. Then you have little pop sockets right here. And these things right here, what, $1 each? So $1 each, 1 cent per square inch, right? For the ink cost, 30 cent for one sheet of paper. And look at this thing. How many of these can you fit on a piece of paper? You can fit a whole bunch of these on a piece of paper. So for efficiency, you can put a whole bunch of these on a piece of paper, sublimate a bunch of them on here with one press, so you're maximizing, you're saving time right there. And look, you got a bunch of, you can upsell this $5 easy, right? So that's something that it's a no-brainer to a customer. Yeah, why not? Yeah, yes, I want that pop socket, and it's something great promotion, right? Put this on the back of your phone, and
So it's
good to go.
5 times the value, boom, like that. So you just add it on. Now you're getting another. We did the shirt for 25. Now we add $30. You got a mug. Obviously, you got a cup. They could run anywhere from $8 to $10. How do you you price that? You pretty soon you can get you're over $100 worth with just one customer.
Yeah.
Adding all these accessories. Okay, what else do we got?
We got photo panels. I mean, things are coming out all the time with like what you can dye sub and everything. It's kind of interesting to see, I guess. You got keeping up with the trends and everything like that. But photo panels, they are a great way to just, putting a photo of like your loved ones, whatever, on there. They're super crisp. It pops. These are relatively cheap. I think we were saying $6. Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
And obviously, you can even use them for awards and stuff like that.
Oh,
If you
wow.
grab that,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of access and you use them for that.
This is
So,
awesome. I didn't even think of this. Like, so it's like people appreciate awards and stuff like that. If you have a company and you have some outstandingly great employees, they deserve to be recognized. Make something like that, and it's priceless. The people they feel appreciated, so they want to work even harder to make your company do even better. So this is something a great addition to add for any boss to give to their employees.
Mhm.
What do you guys think? I think so.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like it.
In talking about sublimation, obviously, is again, I just feel like there was endless possibilities, and so thinking back at Allan is, where else can you go? I mean, is there anything else like?
Well, you got mouse pads. You got so many different mediums, things that you can sublimate onto. And the thing about sublimation is, there isn't a huge learning curve. Like if you know everybody's used a printer before. If you know how to use a printer, you can do sublimation. Printer, heat press, enter real fast, and you just the time is pretty much relatively the same for all substrates, like 400 degrees, 60 seconds. It varies a little bit from substrate to substrate, but for the most part, anybody can do it. It's easy to get into, and like you said, there's many different items coming out as we go along and different methods to do sublimation.
So obviously, Allan mentioned you have an SG500,
Yeah.
and obviously you're doing all this stuff with the SG500. And today you played with the dye sublimation oven. So how was that?
So the dye sublimation oven, to be honest with you, was super super easy. I would kind of wish I had one already. They're sold out everywhere, so I'm gonna get my hands on one very, very soon, hopefully. So it was effortless, to be honest with you. You just placed the paper on it. I used some heat tape and baked it for a few minutes, and it came out. It looked clean, crisp, and professional. And as a matter of fact, here it is right here. I mean, look at the quality.
Yeah.
That was with the shrink wrap.
This is
around.
with the shrink wrap,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can do it. It's not really complicated at all, and it's something. It's another product that you can add to your arsenal so that you can make more money with it for your clients.
And talk about time. Obviously, you could do multiple pieces in there. So
Right,
we're
so-
gaining time.
With the oven, you can fit different size. That's what separates it from every other medium. You can fit different size items in there, and you can, once again, talking about efficiency, you can maximize your efficiency by putting a whole bunch of different mugs or cups or whatever it is in the oven at one time. So now you're not if you have an order of 10, you can probably you might be able to fit all 10 in there. As a matter of fact, if you stack them, good to go.
Obviously, a lot of tools at your disposal gain time. But Allan, let's talk about your time here in Fargo. What do you think about Fargo?
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here. It's always fun to go somewhere and have a different experience in places that you've never been. So I'm proud to say that I've now been to Fargo, North Dakota, and it's very flat out here. It's a different type of. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys shown me, and I appreciate the way the houses are and the way the town is, and it's a good place. It's a fun place. It's small, but I'm happy to be down here.
You didn't realize how flat it was, did you?
From the plane, when I looked down, I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm like, at first I was like, where is everything? But then as things get closer, I say, okay, there's some civilization. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
I always tell people, if you go stand out north of the airport there, you look really hard north, you can see the back of your head. That's that flat, man.
It's that flat.
Yeah.
We're all the way to Canada. Basically, you can just see there's nothing
Yep.
between us and Canada and stuff like that.
Yep.
So.
If I lived here, I'd get too many tickets because the roads are so flat and I'd be driving fast. So yeah, it's probably best that I stay where I
So
live.
now we know Allan. Don't let Allan drive. He's a
Speed
speeding
demon.
around. So, any last thing as far as before we wrap up here, Allan? One thing to say to the person getting in sublimation, what's your words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom would be just don't think about it. There's nothing to think about. There's nothing to question. If you're thinking about doing it, just do it. Just do it because it's a good investment. Even if absolute worst case scenario, you try it out, you don't like it. This equipment sells like flapjacks, so you can just sell it to somebody else, right? Sell it to somebody else because right now you can't get your hands on one of these things. So, but you wouldn't want to do that because look at the products that you can make. Even if you never ever sell to a customer, you would end up saving money and making your money back just from making your own shirts, and saving money for buying family members gifts for Christmas or for holidays and stuff like that. And when people see what you have on, they're gonna want something made anyway. So you're gonna end up making money by default. So it's a no-brainer. It's always a good idea to spend your money on something that can make you more money. It's not a good idea to leave your money sit, not making any more money. And we all know over time the value of a dollar is depreciating. So let your money work for you. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
There you go.
Those are great. That's great advice. Great advice.
Thank you.
Listen to this guy. He'll tell you how to make money with dye sublimation. Do we want to wrap it up here?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Allan.
No problem.
You were awesome. I hope you enjoy Fargo. Guys, that's Beyond the Rolls. If you want to check us out, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our social media. Allan, you want to plug your social media?
Definitely. As you guys can see right here, I have my social media right here. Dubb Productions is something else you guys want to consider if you have a business or something, or if you want to promote anything, a band, your family business. Dye Sublimation, sublimate something onto a shirt. And why not wear your own clothes, right? Dubb Productions on YouTube, Dubb Productions on Instagram. Follow me there. And hopefully when Heat Transfer House comes out with new equipment, I can come back down to Fargo and give you guys some behind-the-scenes stuff. And I'm having a good time. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thanks, Allan.
You're
Look forward
very
to next time.
All right. Take care, guys.